Hey everybody, it's Dustin. I wanted to bring this to your attention. If you weren't aware and you are a Comcast member, in certain states they're going to start a data cap here pretty soon of 1.2 terabytes of download, and they're going to charge you extra every 50 gigs over that 1.2 terabytes, and $10 per 50 gig block up to $100 for certain U.S. states. Now, in my state, they started doing that already. I had that, 3 years ago. And that's one of the main reasons I moved to Fios. But a lot of people don't have access to Fios. And if you remember, Comcast was one of a large group of internet providers who also agreed not to overcharge customers and not to be creating this kind of problem during the coronavirus. But that expired in June. So they basically don't give a shit anymore and plan to just say, okay, we're going to start those caps again. Let's make some money. It says here in January and February, Comcast will give its Xfinity customers not on an unlimited plan. So if you're already on an unlimited plan and you pay a lot of extra money for that, then you won't have this problem. But if you're not on an unlimited plan, you're going to get charged past the 1.2 terabyte limit. They will also have one credit per 12-month cycle where you can go, oops, and they won't charge you. But that's only one time. And really, with the amount of things that we're doing all from home because we're being forced to stay here for our safety, it's a pretty shit move on their part to add any kind of data caps that weren't already there in place. In fact, I think all the data caps should be removed. If you see their response on Twitter, it's a little ridiculous. So this guy posted, "I'm glad they thought about doing this while in a pandemic when everyone is using their internet." And then he's wondering how this is allowed. Well, how this is allowed is we had some legislation in place to prevent this kind of thing so that people couldn't just do whatever they wanted to whenever they wanted to with the net neutrality. And, of course, the senators all let that go to crap, and we don't have net neutrality anymore, which was one of the main reasons you should have been pressuring the people back then. But that aside, Comcast replied with, this only affects about 95% of our customers. And, no big deal. And then 1.2 terabytes is a massive amount of data, and you can do a lot with that in 1 month. And if anybody has been downloading anything or streaming or getting on a bunch of Zoom calls lately, you know that 1.2 terabytes can be eaten up really quick, depending on what you're doing. I'm sure there's a bunch of grandmas out there that have Comcast that don't do anything but watch their cable, and they're not downloading anything other than a couple of emails or sending out some text to their kids over the Wi-Fi. But for the majority of us that have kids at home that are in school, or you're gaming, or you're maybe streaming like I do, or you're uploading and downloading videos to YouTube, this kind of thing can be a real hindrance to you. Anything really, because we're all doing everything across the internet. We're not out in public. We're not able to get to our offices. That's all closed down. We're not able to meet with our family for Thanksgiving. That's going to all be a remote call over the internet. So what can you do about this? That's the biggest thing with this video that I wanted to get out to everybody is what can you do to help combat this? Now, talking to Comcast, probably not going to get you anywhere. So if you call them, they're not going to be very sympathetic. Especially the people you call at Comcast are not the people that can make those decisions. You're never going to get a hold of the CEO or the CFO of Comcast that are going to be able to change anything. So don't call Comcast and talk to their customer service and bitch them out. Those poor people are just happy to have a job and are working at home like the rest of us. What you want to do is you want to start pressuring the people that can pressure Comcast, which is our Senate and our House of Representatives. Now, if you want to get a hold of them, what you need to do is you need to go over to senate.gov and house.gov. Both these sites have the ability for you to look up who your representative is if you don't know already. You go to senate.gov, you can click on senators, and you can click on contact. When you do that, it's going to come here. It's going to allow you to choose your state. Let's choose a state that's going to be affected here. We'll say Connecticut. Here's the first one right here. So you go to choose your state, choose Connecticut. It'll give you Richard Blumenthal and Christopher Murphy. When you click on them, it takes you directly to their page. You can find out what this guy's about. If you don't know already, you can contact him. You can get his phone number, give him a call, let him know that what they're doing in your state is not kosher. Same with the House of Governments. If you go to the House here, the House of Representatives, you go to Directory of Representatives. They have it by last name, so if you happen to know their name, you can look that up. Or state and district. So we can go to C for Connecticut, scroll down past California, which has a ton, Colorado, Connecticut. So here we go. We've got your representatives all here from the different districts. It has the phone number listed right here. You can give them a call if you want to give them a call. And the other thing that I found you could do is C-SPAN has a list, and I'll put all these in a link in the comments and description down below. If you have any questions, hit me up. But you can go to the link that I'll provide that will take you to this list of all the different representatives, senators, and representatives' Twitter pages. So if they have a Twitter, you can tweet at them. I think this should be your last resort, because tweeting at somebody it has the potential to fall on deaf ears. So when you're doing any kind of pressure and activism, the biggest thing that is going to affect them is a phone call. Because if they see their phone blowing up and they ask their assistant, hey, why is the phone blowing up all of a sudden? And they say, oh, well, people are really upset about what Comcast is doing during the pandemic, then that might get a little bit of reaction. Writing a letter, a physical letter, that I'm not sure how far that's going to go. My dad used to love doing that before he passed away. I haven't written a physical letter to a congressman in a long time. I will send an email and I'll make a phone call before I do any of this stuff. But all these are listed here. So once you go to the Senate or the House of Representatives, you find who it is that you want to contact. You can click on this other link here in my video to get to their Twitter, and you can follow them, see what they're doing, see if they're tweeting about this. You might throw them out a tweet and say, what are you doing about this? What is this? What do you feel about this? And they see what kind of response you get, if any. That'll know what kind of representation you're going to get from Twitter. If they respond to you, then that's already a good shot, and it means that they're listening. At least whether or not they do something about it will be remaining to be seen. But the fact that Comcast basically said, hey, yeah, we're not going to do any kind of raising of people's fines and fees, and we're going to help people out during this coronavirus, and then only until it expires, this pledge that we're making, and then after that they just say, yeah, okay, cool, anybody looking anymore? Okay, let's raise this stuff up. I will also link to these two articles here so you can read on this. There's not a whole lot of info other than listing the states: Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Vermont, West Virginia, and DC. Also parts of North Carolina and Ohio. I don't know what that means by parts. Probably the parts that they control, because it's Comcast. Sometimes it's not controlled by them due to cable shenanigans. And, if you're in these other states like I am, where they've been doing it forever, then, move to something else. If you can, the biggest place that you can make your decision on changing what Comcast does is take your money somewhere else. And I did that and haven't looked back. Got Fios quite a bit. It's been 3 or 4 years at least, and haven't looked back. Comcast sucks. So hopefully that helps inform you on what you can do about this current raise in the data cap that they're going to put in place, and the fines that they're hoping to soak you for, and that you can reach out to your senators and representatives and hopefully make some change. If we all work together to fight against what we feel isn't right, then we can make some change. We all got to do it. So do your part and help each other out. I don't even have Comcast, and I'm going to start working towards this. So everybody do your best, be good humans, and we'll see you in the next video.